change the world. On we go.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. My name is Steph. I'm trying out different areas in my house to figure out what has the best lighting. I think I'm gonna go with this right now because I think it's pretty even. I don't feel overexposed. It is a little weird to not be in front of my bookshelves, but there's nothing wrong with bringing the books here, right? So if you think this lighting is okay, let me know. But anyway, I wanted to make a video kind of talking about things that I learned after taking a 1+ year hiatus from Booktube. And it's surprising in retrospect how much better I feel about my channel after taking a break. And I'm hoping that some of the things that I mulled over in the past year and change are helpful to other booktubers who may be experiencing booktube burnout or something like that. So let's talk about booktube burnout, or more specifically, YouTube influencer burnout. I think this kind of like applies to everything else. But I'm going to be speaking about specific instances that I deal with or dealt with as a booktuber, things that kind of, I think, I didn't give myself the space and grace to really think about beforehand when I was really deep into like posting twice a week, following a set schedule, wanting to be a part of everything with all of my friends. And as amazing as that experience is and was, I think that taking a break was the best thing that I could have done for my channel. Not in the sense that, I mean, like if it's any interest to anybody, it is possible to get demonetized, and that makes sense, right? Because like my, even though I have the subscriber count, and I totally don't mind being completely transparent with these things because I think it's more helpful to talk about it than to not talk about it, is that like my watch hours kind of went down. So because they were below that threshold for enough time, which I think was about like 6 months or something like that before it got demonetized. Now I need to like reach back up there again, and that's fine. Like I know that that will happen in time, and that's not something that I'm like rushing to do. Obviously it's a bonus if I get monetized again, but I didn't know that getting demonetized was totally a thing unless you did something wrong. Like I thought you would have had to do like make a video that gets reported or do something that kind of breaks the policy of YouTube. But no, it's just, if you're not keeping up with your content, then you can get demonetized. So that's helpful to know. So I hope anyone else who needed to know that can know that now. But anyway, I know that I'm going to get back up there, so I'm not too worried about that happening again. It'll happen when it happens. I know that I do this because I enjoy making videos. So let's start off by talking about taking breaks and enjoying your content to start. So taking breaks is so important because I realized that I was pushing myself really hard to put out videos twice a week, and in doing so, I was beginning to like prioritize doing this hobby over doing my other kinds of art. And what I forgot, I think, along the way was that this is an additional art form on top of the other art that I do, and that I do it because it's a hobby, and that I do it because I want to connect with other readers. So giving myself the time to like really think about the content that I want to make and focus on quantity over quality. I know that that might sound really basic, but I think a lot of us may forget that along the way, that we're doing this for fun. So just a gentle reminder that, do what makes you happy. Especially because I chose to do this and I chose to make a booktube channel, and it can be about anything that I want. So if I have full control over the content of this channel, why do something that makes me unhappy? You know what I mean? So that's the first thing, giving myself the time and space to really plan out what those videos are going to be like. Like I remember I was making these like bullet journal videos, and while I loved bullet journaling and it was fun, it was also really exhausting, and it was like creating an additional promise to my followers that I was going to keep up with this thing that wasn't really something that I would regularly keep up with. Like, this isn't a Bujo channel, so why put myself in a position where I'm creating this expectation that I'm going to be regularly doing this? Why stress myself out for something that's supposed to be cathartic to create content about it? That's fine. So I'm not doing the bullet journals anymore, pretty obviously. But yeah, taking a break to focus on the quality of what I'm doing and recentering myself as to why I'm doing it. And then stretching myself in, I think, is going to be the second thing that I want to touch on. So stretching yourself as a content creator to the point where you've got your hands in way too many pots. I am totally guilty of this, and it's something that I want to take accountability for. So like, I've made a ton of friends since I started Booktube, and I wanted to be a part of everything. Like, I wanted to be a part of this readathon and that reading thing and that reading thing. And it's like, instead of saying, hey, I can only do this many things this month, and like maybe giving a suggestion that I'm a guest host on another month, or like paring down the amount of books that I'm reading, or saying, hey, like I want to be a host, I want to help out, but I'm only available for this much time. Instead, I thought I could like jump into everything, and then ended up, being part of like so many things that I wasn't really, I think, giving the quality of reviews that I wanted to give, because I didn't have enough time to process. So understanding that I'm the type of reader, an artist actually, that needs time to think. I need a few days in between my consumption of media to the review process to really mull over the nuances of what I just digested. And I wasn't giving myself that because there were so many things that I was doing that, tell me if you can relate to this, I was like finishing a book literally right before the live show. And that's no bueno. That's not how this works. So understanding that about myself, I am now giving myself smaller TBRs, and also not holding myself to those TBRs. Like 1 to 2 books a month that are a requirement for either a book club or something that I promised to do, I think is enough. And giving myself the space to do mood reads after that, it's perfect. That way I can like have time to be a person, Okay, so another thing that I want to talk about, this one is a little bit spicy. So I think speaking up more, and the reason I'm saying speaking up more after this is because I should have spoken up to all of the commitments that I made to like friends and all these other things. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't things that I like wasn't trying to follow through before I went on hiatus. Like the hiatus happened so suddenly that I didn't really have time and energy to be able to say to people like, hey, I need to drop out right now. It just like, anyway, that's its own thing. I'm not going to go into that. I already made a video talking about where I've been since I went on hiatus, so that's fine, right? But I think when I say speaking up more, not just speaking up to talking about what I am, what I can and what I cannot, have the capacity to do right now, but there was a situation when I was a new booktuber, when I was a newer member of the booktube community, where I had created something. And I did my research before I made this video. I'm not going to go into like what the video was or who the booktuber was in the situation, because I'm not trying to like start anything over that. There's nothing stopping me from doing this video again, and I will probably do it again. I just haven't had the energy to do it because it takes a lot of time to like put it together. But there was a video that I did that I was super, super proud of, and I did my research before I made that video about like, had anyone else done anything like this? And I had seen no. I'd asked around, nobody heard of anything like this. And so I put it together, and it was a hit smash. I thought it was so much fun. Like, I really liked doing this with my friends. My friends enjoyed it. Everyone was saying that this was a great idea. And then within 30 days, there was a larger booktuber who came out with the same topic video. And I will say that I am 99% certain that this person got their idea from my channel. One, because they were following me before, and then after their video came out, they weren't following me anymore. So I was like, okay, red flag number 1. But 2, that people knew, and, I got messages from friends saying like, hey, everybody kind of knew. Everyone knew who was in my circle. Like, we had similar circles, that the idea that I had was original. And so when this person also came out with it, it became readily apparent to multiple people like, hey, wasn't that Steph's idea? But it was really up to me if I wanted to say something. And I didn't want to for multiple reasons. One, because I was a smaller booktuber at the time. I want to say like, what did I have? Like less than 300 followers at the time. So, you know, I didn't think it was my place to really say anything because I was new to the Booktube community and didn't understand what it meant to really share content ideas. But two, it wasn't 100% original because I got this idea technically from something else, right? So like there was something else in the world that inspired me to make this video idea. So I didn't think it was too far-fetched that eventually somebody would also have a similar idea. However, what got me was that this person was taking credit for that idea when it was very apparent to me that they got that idea from me. Anyway, that's fine. I'm just putting that out there to say, like, if you have content that you're really proud of, speak up about it, and giving credit to other creators who are also working really hard to build their channels, and remembering that we're all part of the same community is really important. So I think, like, thinking back to that kind of dampered my creative spirit for a little while. But I'm not saying this because, like, I want any kind of apology. I'm not saying this because, you know, I really don't care what this person does or thinks. And I think in the future, had this happened now, I would have spoken out and said, like, hey, I'm pretty sure that you saw my video. Would you mind just giving me credit? But going forward, that's what I would do. That being said, calling it out as I see it if that happens to anybody else, or making sure that if I get an idea from somewhere that I credit that person, or if I later find out that someone else did a similar like video or content idea and I wasn't aware of it, like maybe dropping it in a comment or saying like, hey, if you like more videos like this, go to that person, right? Because like we can't really build a community if we're not there for each other. Like the booktube community is so small as is, and booktube has been around way longer than book talk. I'm gonna like complain for a second, but yet you go to the bookstore and you see book talk influencer like pop-up stands everywhere. But where did that come from? I think that's just I think not giving credit to what booktube has done for the reading or the literature community as a whole is a whole other video in and of itself. And I think I saw someone, was it Leo? I forget their channel name, but I'll like either put the video somewhere here or like drop it in the comments or something. There was another booktube creator who made a video around the whole booktube versus book talk thing. But that's besides the point. I'm going off into a tangent, right? So it's just like supporting other creators when you can and being in communication with them. But anyway, that's my 2 cents about that. So also, going back to the idea of comfort, I feel like I always skip around when I do these things. I can't just stay on one train of thought, but I think that's because I tend to like just go off the cuff when I'm recording. So rereading, allowing myself to reread. I think as an up and coming book influencer, I didn't give myself enough time to reread things because I always wanted something new to talk about. But it could be content in itself of rereading something and talking about the differences between the first and second time that you read it. So look at that, I just gave myself an idea, right? I'm gonna probably do something like that. But like allowing myself to have some comfort, allowing myself to not be on the newest trend of whatever is being read right now. Like, so what if all of the books that are on my TBR are really old? Yes, I want to find out what's new out there. Yes, I want to add some things to my TBR, but I also wanted to, and okay, sure, I want to be relevant as an influencer, but I think at the end of the day, circling back to the beginning, I did all this because I wanted to have fun. I wanted to build a community and I wanted to engage with people who also like reading and talk about books. But I also need to recognize that I am an introvert at the end of the day and I need my space to process and decompress. And it's okay not to post a video on a set schedule. Other people are great at it. Like I can think of a couple booktubers off the top of my head who are amazing with their schedules. Eric of Break Even Books is one. Like Eric is so freaking consistent. I don't know how he does it. But that's not me. Unless I had a team of people behind me, I am not that consistent. And if I am that consistent, it's taking a lot of energy that I need for myself to decompress and to process and to enjoy reading. So yeah, no, it's not happening. I think that might be all of the things that I learned in my year of hiatus. And it all boils down to being kind to myself and doing what I love to do. And as a creator, putting my foot down. And then also just like being there for my friends when I can be. And it's okay to not be there when you can't be, because you know what this reminds me of? That saying for teachers that I cannot stand. I hate this saying so much, and I'm very glad that it's finally being cycled out of the pedagogical vernacular, because what does it go? Like, a teacher is like a candle and they burn themselves out to light the way for their students. But like, dude, if I can't re-energize myself, then there's no more of me to give, and that's not helpful for anybody. Like, I'm not that expendable. But anyway, I say that to say that is more of a reminder to myself, not that anyone else was doing that, but like, Steph, it's okay not to be able to do everything that you want to do. Do what you can do. What you can do is enough, right? Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful to somebody or anybody, even if it's not helpful to anyone. It's cathartic to me to talk about. So if you resonate with any of the things that I've said, please do me a favor and like drop a comment down into the comment section and let me know if you ever taken a break from being a content creator and what that did for you, or if you have any suggestions about Booktube burnout in general, or content creation burnout in general, really. Let me know if you have any ideas for any videos that you want me to do, because I'm kind of like struggling to come up with ideas right now. I'm in that weird headspace of I want to record, but I don't know what to talk about. So if you can send some ideas my way, that'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, I will drop your name into the description if you gave me any ideas and I said thank you for it. So anyway, I post videos whenever I feel like it. I'll see you later. Bye.
On we go.